So I think we would all agree that this is not how curtains are supposed to look. It is not the preferred aesthetic. And my curtains have looked like this for an unacceptable amount of time. And it's hot out. It's July. The heat index has reached 108 more than once. It is hot, and they are covering that air vent on the floor. And not only here, but there's an air vent on the other side that you can't see right now that is also being covered. So it is just irresponsible to allow these curtain panels to continue to lay on top of my air vents. I really need to get these curtains hemmed if I want any chance in hell of my HVAC getting us through this summer. And I am so tired of looking at what just appears to be like heaps of laundry on the living room floor. Like, it needs to get fixed. Jack is watching my back quite literally as I try to get these curtain panels down, and Lucy's trying to decide where she wants to be. She's not quite sure. She chooses directly underneath the ladder. Everything's a shelter to her. But the thing about taking down these curtain panels is that our curtain rods are not like most people's in that they're secured to the wall with 2 pieces of hardware. So you could probably do chin-ups on that bar, but you can't just lift it off. So they're not actually the easiest thing to get down. And that didn't help me feel any bit more motivated to start the project. Jack came over to give me some support. At this point, like, I'm just staring. I'm at a loss, and this is when I realized that I don't know what I'm doing, and maybe I should research a little bit more. But I also just really want to get these curtains hemmed, so I figure the best way to research is to try to do it. This is me trying. I seemingly have forgotten the rules of gravity, and I don't initially understand how to get this piece of fabric to lay on my table without being pulled down by the weight of the other end. Eventually, I realized that I could just use a book to weigh it down and keep it on the table, and that took longer, obviously, than I wish it did. But eventually I get to this part, and at this point, I'm still really not totally sure what I'm doing. And I don't really know what's next yet, if that isn't already obvious. But I do end up getting in front of my sewing machine, and I am doing a test, like tension stitch, and it's bad. It's not good. The tension's bad here. It didn't come out good. And I know, like, most people, or it seems like there's a ton of hate for like beginner level Singer sewing machines of like today's modern age, but I really like my Singer Fashion Mate. I do have another Singer from the 1990s that I did actually restore, and I can use it for regular projects. And I think because I fixed that Singer sewing machine, I feel really confident and comfortable to like rip this one apart. And I just made a problem much worse than it already was, because I am adjusting the bobbin tension, which was specifically factory set. And they attempt to stop you from doing what I just did by literally putting like a drop of paint over the screw. Still, that's not going to stop me. But I think because like I'm not afraid to rip everything apart, that's like another way that I learn to sew while I sew. Even though that my tension problem's not fixed and it's actually worse, I decide that I don't care. And it's good enough to sew this hem, except I'm not. So the hem is crooked. Okay, it's shorter, but it's not straight. Now I'm relieved that I got half of the hem done, but I'm really frustrated and I have to do it again because I already feel like I just, competed in a marathon with all of the mental hoops my brain just jumped through, only to get to the point where it's hung up and not straight. Now I'm losing my mind. Lucy knows it, and she ran away because I'm cutting extra fabric off my curtain panel. Don't do that. Jack can't believe it, and neither can Lucy. Oh, she's so embarrassed for me. She's like, yeah, put this in your video, it'll be real good. So now I'm downstairs and I'm starting to realize the weight of my error. How I just took a whole bunch of fabric that I could have used for a 1-inch hem and cut it off. And now I don't have nearly as much room. So it's a little frustrating at this point, and I'm trying to iron out my feelings. And basically I get here, right? Now this seam is really thin. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's not right. That's not right. That's not how a seam on this panel is supposed to look, but I'm actually counting my lucky stars. Would you look at those Crocs, by the way? I have been on so many camping trips with them. But yeah, I'm really trying to please the iron gods by ironing excessively, hoping that if maybe I can get this seam to lay super flat, I will have a chance in hell of creating a straight, uniform hemline. Okay, the anxiety, you cannot see it right now, but it is so strong. And then look what I go and do. That's not what you're supposed to do. And I just did it. It was very impulsive. Like, what kind of decision was that? Not a good one. Why did I do that? I'm pretty much just going to smash this fabric together as much as possible to try to make it look like it's not nearly as unfinished as it is. But I'm also like over it at this point. Like, I just need these panels sewed. It doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. And if you come here and you say something about my 1/4 inch hem, you're never going to be allowed back. I'm doing another tension check, and it's bad, but I don't care. So I keep sewing. And I finally realized, like, maybe all the ironing paid off, and I'm about to be bestowed a beautiful gift from the ironing gods, and that will be a straight hemline. So even though my tension's kind of meh, I just decided it doesn't matter, and it's holding the bottom hem together, so it's good enough for me. I couldn't believe it, but I just nailed that. My Hail Mary pass totally worked, and now I'm feeling way more confident. Undeserved for sure. I did one thing right. Like, I can slow down. The other thing is that once I get on a roll, I tend to forget to do almost anything else. It sucks, honestly, because look at what's happening to my knees. Do you think I'd be doing this if I was mentally well? I'm 35, okay? You don't just get down on the ground on your knees like this at 35, all right? This is gonna mean some serious pain for me tomorrow, but I'm mostly just focused on the fact that I've gotten this far, and I'm pretty excited. If I please the ironing gods, maybe they'll make this panel come out right on the first time. So I spend an enormous amount of time praising the Lord of the Iron, and made this seam edge as flat as I possibly could. I am kind of feeling like maybe I figured it out at this point, because I'm taking this like seam edge ruler thing and it's matching up. It matched up the whole way across. I'm just amazed. I have to touch it. I have to touch it too many times to really believe that it looks as even and uniform as it does. And again, I'm really getting more confident, but I'm very aware that I should be cautious in any type of confidence I possess. But again, I'm gonna run this thing through my sewing machine, and at this point, I'm really hopeful that I've finally figured out generally how to get this done. And I'm not overthinking the tension of the thread at this point. I don't really care. It's keeping the hem sewed. Maybe if I just focus and not get distracted, I can actually get this project completed. And I am so excited. And then I get here and I'm realizing, wow, I did it. Okay, look where we came from. Just look at that. Would you want that in your living room? No. Lucy can't believe what she's looking at. Neither can Steve. But Lucy is just, her mind is blown. She's overwhelmed. But yeah, I am now on my knees looking at the bottom of these curtain panels. They are so even, they are so uniform. My mind is just blown. And I can't believe that what used to look like this, literally this mess, it's terrible. I can't believe I let it look like that for so long. Honestly, you have to see it now. Like, it is beautiful. I can't believe that I did this and that I just didn't give up. And if you look at the bottom of these curtain panels, like, they look neat. Obviously, don't look at the first one for too long, but if you look at the other three, they look fabulous. I'm just so proud of myself again for being willing to take on the headache and get this done. We are obviously exhausted, so we're going to try to get some rest. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Have a good one, guys. See ya.